With information, you could access a knowledge base. With that knowledge, you could exercise choice. Choice is going to provide you an experience. Based on that experience, now you might have an experience that's lined up with life, which is going to make you continuously stronger. That's where I want to go. Right. Or the other one, that's not a no, that's an absence of life. There's nothing happening there. So if I line up with that, then I'm going to be like Lot's wife. I'm going to be turned into a pillar of salt, literally. Mm-hmm. So we begin to look at what is the mind, what am I seeing? What's my vision? Whatever my vision is going to determine what the mirror of my mind is reflecting into my body. So just like you found something that made you strong, and something that made you weak. So what is going to make me strong is when I'm looking up at life. When I'm looking up at life, I'm firing off these serotonin receptors up here, which is when you wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah. You haven't even got out of bed yet. It's like, yeah, I feel good. That's the serotonin uptake. When I'm not feeling good, right, when I'm not looking up at life, now I'm looking for life in the ditch. Is there going to be much down in the ditch? But what's in the ditch? So when I'm looking down at life, I'm attempting to fire off the dopamine, which is that sense of bodily relief. Like maybe when you play a round of golf and you, oh yeah, I did really good, and your mind is like clear, and your body feels, this is exuberance, this is life. So the serotonin, dopamine, right? So when we do the treatment by the eyes, most of the points are up here on the upper part and the brow and the ear. So we know that these points are firing off the serotonin uptake. So when I was in Denmark in 2004, you will see Dr. Dahlgren putting the needles in, and that person, ouch. The needles are so small that it looks like an oversized hair. When he doesn't put the needle in the right place, there's nothing happening. When he gets the right point, ow, there's a response. And then after about the third or fourth one, they just bust out laughing. I called it the Dahlgren response. Because when you feel that sense of relief, you get happy. You have a little laughter. And they say, tell a joke after the meal, right? It helps your digestion, right? So what I noticed is we were doing this work for the vision, and the person's vision improves. Dr. Dahlgren's original technique was 3 treatments a day for 10 to 12 days in a row. We'll check in the beginning, how's your vision? At the end, how's your vision? Oh, you improved. Okay, keep going. But after 20 years of developing and researching, he eliminated all the original points that he found. And he noticed that the points actually migrate. They move. Which, unlike the acupuncture model that we have here, the points are fixed. Through thousands and thousands of years, the points are fixed. Like in the ancient days, they will have a bronze statue with holes. Everywhere there's an acupuncture point, there's a hole. And then they will fill it with wax, and then they cover it with paper. So then the master will give you the name of the point. Then you go put the needle in, the bronze statue. You don't know if you hit the point till you pull it out, then the water leaks out. You got the point. So they were fixed in nature. They'll have a target size from, say, like a quarter to 50-cent piece down to maybe like a dime. That's our target area. But with Dr. Dahlgren's technique, finding that the points migrated. Like the Mississippi River, you've got the map that shows the general location. When you're in the river, you don't need a map. You got to look at the river. Where is it flowing? So the same way, we found that the acupuncture points migrate from day to day, hour to hour. So we use the pulse to locate the points as we're tracking over the area, looking for the point. Wherever the point's active, the pulse will spike. You'll feel it hit So then we know, oh, that's the point. So now we have like the size of a pencil tip. When you sharpen a pencil, that's our target. Within that target, I could put 40 or 50 needles and have room left over. So the point is very discrete. Even though we have a target the size of a pencil tip, I'm looking for the point. So when I put the needle in, oh, it's sharp. I'm putting the needle in, and you're going, when are you going to put the needle in, doc? And I'm putting it in, you don't feel anything. We didn't hit the point. So we have the response. Within 20 to 30 minutes, 80% of the patient, their vision's going to improve because we have a little chart that we show them, a picture. What do you notice? What do you see? Then on the other side is the eye chart. So some people in the beginning, like we had a lady, 97 years old. She's looking at the chart. She has it in her hands, and she's looking at it to see what she can see, and it's up here. That's where she has to read it. It's up here. And 30 minutes later, I give her the chart. She's reading down here. And her daughter's there and says, Mom, you see what you're doing? She's like, what? You see where you're holding the card? Oh, yeah. So? Well, you haven't done that in 5 years. What happened there? Because you don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. Your eyes are actually an extension of your brain. So if you don't see with your eyes, you actually see with your brain. If your vision improved, if it came down a line or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, what you're measuring objectively is a brain function change. Well, that's unheard of anywhere, especially by acupuncture. So in the context of the literature, over thousands of years, there's no known treatment of eyes disorders by acupuncture. It's not known. The treatment is by herbs. Very long, expensive, protracted, and the outcomes are very poor by our standards, 30% or less. 30% or less are going to get a result, and we don't know what kind of result they're going to even get, which is unlike Dr. Dahlgren's technique. 80% are going to know on the first day, the first hour, the first treatment if it's going to work. 100% of the patients are going to know by the 3rd day. If they are not seeing an improvement in their vision by the 3rd day, we know they're not a candidate for the treatment. So we saw that the vision was improving. But what I noticed was that as people's vision improved, now they begin to notice where their sight's set. Because if their vision's been impaired, maybe they're looking down at life. They're not very happy. Now that they have their vision improved, wow, I have my life back. So we begin to notice, where are my sights set? Because wherever my sights are set, that's where I'm going to be going. My subconscious can't argue, prove, or decide, or persuade. It just acts on whatever is going in the mirror of my mind. So the predominant mirror of the mind is, I'm going to die, run or fight, clot the blood. You know, whenever I'm feeling threatened, upset, when I have an opinion. And I love that word, opinion. You know why? Because it starts with a 0, which is exactly what it's worth, 0. It's worth nothing. So when I have this energy engaged in my opinion, being right at any cost, right? My stories around what happened in the past, all that stuff, it's like the film that's playing on the screen up front. And I'm looking at the screen going, that's me, that's me. When it actually, if you turn this way and look, you're looking into the light. That's our nature, light.